One mini world, one creation dream.
Today we are going to focus on three things. First, we are going to learn how to manage, I'm going to explain everything I can about the user interface editor. I'm going to show you some tricks that I already tried on that. And I'm going to show you how to create your first menu, okay? We also gonna learn how to create a live bar, things related like a live bar, so you will be able to do some extra live bars. But today we are going to learn how to do a menu, an interactive menu. So we are going to learn the basics. You are going to create all the base for your game. And also you are going to start creating your buttons. That means that when you place or press a button, you will be able to make an activity happen, okay? So, to create an interface, you need to access to this new menu, okay? And let me reduce a little bit the music. I don't know if you can hear the music that much, but right now I have a powerful music here. So, okay, let's. I think it's not that big for you. It's not that much loud. So let me change that, okay? So here in the top, let me put again the clear so you will be able to see it better. But right here, you can see this new button just before the developer store, if you have the developer store. And that's the UI editor, okay guys? On here, as you see, you can access to the plugins and the models and everything. But if you click on the UI library, you are going to have the options, okay? The first thing that you need to do to create an UI is just hit here, okay? And you are going to see this screen. You are going to see this new thing. And it may be confusing at the beginning for you, but let me explain how it works. First, you have an option here that is settings, okay? In settings, you can change basic things. I'm going to explain all the things I know, so you will have a better explanation about this. Here you can place the name. I'm going to place test123 just to be able to delete it after. The first option that we got is show the mouse when it's triggered. That means that, as an example, if you are going to do an UI that is a selection menu, you activate this and the player will not be able to move, okay? If you activate this, the player will not be able to move, and the mouse or the tab button is going to be activated. And so that means that when this UI is going to be shown, the players cannot move, okay? But we'll be able to use the mouse freely so they can choose. So, if you are creating an action bar, as an example, a skill bar, where you can push a button to launch a skill or something, don't do this. If you are creating a menu, a selection menu, that covers all the screen, you can use it. And if you are using a menu that is going to be used while the player is moving, try not to activate this, okay? So, if you need the player to move or interact to skills or something, don't use this, okay? Now, this is going to be automatically hiding the UI in case something gets open. As an example, if you open a new page, everything is going to be closed, okay? Now we got the level. Imagine that we have, okay, like what I can do for this. Okay, imagine that you have this, okay, this is the level 1. Over the level 1 comes a layer that is the level 2 and the level 3. So if you place this like 99, this is going to be 99 layers over the normal UI. With this, you can overlap the different UIs. So as an example, if you have a live bar, the live bar always going to be in the top, and below that are going to be like the different layers, okay? This one works just to be able to design better. As an example, if you are creating a game in the night, probably you want to use this one because it's darker, but it's just going to be for the preview of your UI. Okay, this is not going to affect the actual UI, it's just how you are going to see the background in the editor. And finally, we got something that is going to be called pages, okay? So what it's going to do, the pages are like different. Literally, it's like you open a book and the first page is going to have something, the second page is going to have something else, and like that, okay? So I'm going to go deeper later on this one, but you can create a lot of layers, okay? A lot of pages. Now, that's going to be the basics. Let's move to the level, okay, guys? So just as miniatures, this is going to have different levels, okay? If you didn't add anything, you will access to the different layers of the normal UI. So as an example, if I want to hide the inventory, you can just place here on hide. And as you see, when I open this UI, it's not going to show the inventory, okay? Also, you have a lot of features. As an example, oh, and this is important, guys, with this button, you can move around, okay? So as an example, if I don't want to show the mount button in my map, I can go to control panel and I can hide just the mountain here. Also, if I don't want to show the life bar here, as an example in my map, the players are not going to die, you can use just here to hide the life bar. Also, you can hide the scoreboard, that is going to be this. And you can hide a lot of things. As an example, you can hide the minimap, so in case you don't use it, you can undo that very quickly, okay? And if you see, this is going to have like different levels, okay? So this is going to be the main interface. It's like you put inside folders everything, okay? So this is going to be the main folder. Inside this folder, we have all these UIs, but we have another folder and another structure that has more UIs inside, okay? So whenever you create something, you will be able to order here, except for this one, okay? This one is always going to be in the bottom. It's going to be at the top layer, so you cannot modify that one, okay? Now, guys, this is going to be also important, and probably this is going to be the most important. Remember I said that you can place different pages? The different players can show or hide different elements, and you can access from them from here. Next, also we have on here a quick action button. With this, you can do a Ctrl+C, as you see, or just go up and just recover your changes. And with this, you can access or reduce the size. So probably you need this for creating something more specific or to have a close-up, so you will have a better look about what is happening here, okay? Now, guys, before you start creating the UI, remember that you also have a triggers and scripts here, okay? So I'm going to be, and this is very important, guys, this is not going to work with the other triggers. Well, the triggers, yes, but the scripts and the triggers are not connected with the normal triggers. That means that if you create a script outside, not in this menu, just in the normal script section, okay? So if you create your script here, okay, like this, if you create your script here, you cannot use those scripts. This is not going to work on this one, okay? And this is something very important because it gives me a lot of headaches at the beginning because I wasn't able to use, okay? So you can not use scripts from the normal script menu on here. Also, most of the triggers, you cannot do calls to the other triggers. Let me show you an example here. So if I place an action that says triggers, operate trigger, okay? This trigger, it's not going to show me anything apart from this because it's not connected with this one, okay? So once more, as an example, if I do the same here, okay, and I add an action that is going to be the same, you can see that on here I can see my triggers from the normal editor, but not the one from the UI, okay? That is going to be very important because you need to play your game to avoid a lot of errors happens, okay? So remember, everything that you use on the script editor in here cannot be used in the normal editor, okay? Right, that is going to be very important, guys. And now, on here, of course, you have like different triggers, okay? I'm going to go deeper later, but now we are going to go back, and also you have scripts, guys, okay? We are going to go back to the UI editor, okay? So, you are going to have elements here that are by basics. Remember, with levels, you can change how it looks. Now you have an option to add new elements, okay? And when you click on here, you are going to see like different elements that you can use to create your UI, okay? And let's check the tabs. The first one that you are going to have is add components. That is going to add just single elements. Remember This, remember that yesterday I teach you how to do this? Well, you can use those elements, but on here we are going to have different properties, okay? I'm going to go deeper later. Also, you have access to quick actions here to see quick menus that you can create very easily. Not necessarily are going to be that much advanced. And also you have access to your own templates. So if you create something, you can save it as a template so you don't have to create it every time, okay? But the most important thing is going to be this one, or let me show you a template. If I hit here and I hit on add, as you see, in less than 5 seconds, I have my template here. This is the one that you see in the Pokemon game before. Is the store ready for setup? And probably you are going to see this, okay? As you see, now we have like 2 different objects here. It's like 2 different folders. This is going to be mine. If I press hide, it's going to hide everything. If I press show, it's going to be show, okay? But I cannot put that inside here. I just can't let it them, okay? So remember this one, we can never change it, okay? I'm going to delete it. And I'm going to show you that we can also place any template here. As an example, this like actual mob page, you can also use it, and you're gonna see that also are some folders like the miniatures that includes more things inside, okay? Now, those are going to be for the templates. Now let me explain what it's going to do each one of the elements. The most basic one, and the one that we are going to use the most, is the picture, okay? The picture is something that is just going to be there, but it's not going to do anything. You cannot interact with it, you cannot click it, you cannot change anything on it, okay? But very important, guys, apart that you cannot change anything from it, you actually can do some tricks. As an example, you can change the color by triggers, you can change the position, you can change the alpha value and a lot of things about that, okay? When you click on that, it's going to show us like different features here, okay? So what is going to be this? It's the image that we are going to hold. On here we have all the UI elements that Miniware has by default. Also we can access 2 normal icons or normal items, so you can place it on here. You can access to blocks, you can access to creatures, and you can access to a status icon, as an example, the boost icons, okay? But very important, guys, this, as remember, is just going to be an image, okay? So going back to here, remember that we have those shapes, okay? If you are not going to interact with them, and the best trick is to use this. So probably you are trying to guess what we can do, okay? So as an example, I'm going to create a back image, okay? So you can place some background image, and you can see that you can have a lot of shapes and objects that you can use as a background. As an example, if I place this one, you can see that I can have this, okay? But this, once more, is not going to have interactions, but you are going to have some features, okay? So things that you're gonna have here, for some reason, I can, okay? Hey, my Multiverse gets stressed, but now I was able to resolve it, okay? So you are going to have those dots around. With those dots, you can change the size. Okay, you can change the altitude wherever you want, and also you have this to rotate the element, okay? Remember, guys, don't rotate unless it's completely necessary. And if you see here, I'm going to have right here in the level buttons, I'm going to have the description, going to have an icon that means that it's a picture, okay? And the positions. If you click on an element, or you click on attributes, or you click here and you select attributes also, okay, you can have like these pattern settings, okay? And you are going to have a lot of features here. This is going to work for a lot of things, for text, for shapes, for a lot of elements. And let me put myself back on the background so you will be able to see. And the first one is going to be the name. Always that you create this, you can create a name, okay? So I'm going to create, I don't know, a simple thing. Let's do a dialogue, okay? dialog background, okay? So I will be able to know very directly what is this. Next, apart from the name that actually you can see here levels that is going to change the name, you have a feature that is change the pattern. That's going to be the model that is inside, and also you will have a recently used, but also you have all the options here, okay? So you can change that anytime if you see that something is not going to work, okay? Now, apart from that, this is going to work like the normal mini world map. You have coordinates. This means that you are going to move the object or position the object from left to right, okay? So if you move here, you can see it's moving to the right. If I hit here, it's going to move to the left. And this is going to be the Y coordinate, it's going to move up and down, okay? All right, very simple, guys, don't overcomplicate on that part. Then we have align, okay? When you hit align, you can choose, as an example, if according to the map, you want to quick place it in any position of the map. As you see, it's very quick. It's just for you to have a quickest way to do it. If you want to find the center, just click on there, okay? Now we got the dimensions. That is important. We can change the dimensions once more by pressing those dots around the shape. But also, if you want something more exact, you can change the numbers here. So you will be sure about the amount, okay? And just like here, we have a button to quickly set up the shape for the way you would. As an example, if I want it to be very big from top to down, just click on here and it's going to be stretched to the size of your UE, okay? That is going to be very important. Also, you have for all the sphere or just the sides, okay? Check this. If I press here, it's going to show all the shapes. But of course, we don't want that. It's just to show you the preview. Then we have here the zoom method. We have an option here that is free menu, and we have an option that is proportional zoom. I don't know how it works, guys. To be honest, I'm not going to lie with you. I never found out how to work it. But if you find out, guys, let me know. I think it's going to be for the different cell phones, but I'm not sure about that, okay? Dragon Sky say hello, so welcome to the streaming, Dragon Sky. Okay. Now, for this is going to be also an important part, okay? This is going to be the colors, so once you got the shape here, you can change the color. You are going to have this menu, hue is which is going to be the base color, saturation is how vibrating is it, I can make it completely dark or have a little bit more of color, and brightness is how much amount of white or black is going to have, okay? Also, you have a quick action here for setting colors, and you can set up more colors. Remember the codes I teach you that you can get from the page that I sent you yesterday? You can paste it here. But the trick is the next one, guys. If you want a pure interface, don't use a color one, because as you see, if I place red on here, it's not going to be red and real or green, because this shape has already a color, okay? So let me show you the difference. I'm going to change the pattern. I'm using currently this one. I'm just going to go to basic image and I'm going to select a white one, okay? And when you select a white one, you will be able to change this freely. As you see, now it covers the real color. So if I place red, it's going to be red. Blue is going to be blue. So try to always, if you want to use custom colors, use a white or a gray image, okay? As you see on here, you can see the real values. This is going to be black and white. And this is going to be the amount of red that I can use for this one. And the color, okay? So as you see, it's going to be bare, okay? Now, we also have here properties that you can use. The first one is transparency. I think the name is self-explanatory. 100% means no transparency. 0 or 50% means that your object it's going to be a little bit transparent. Let me show you. I'm going to copy this very quickly. And as you see, if I add transparency here, I can make it translucent, okay? If I put 100, it's not going to be translucent at all. Now we have the rotation angle. Once more, it's just the same that here, but you can do it manually, so you can do it also from here, okay? Guys, very important, when you do this, all the things inside this shape are going to be moved. So try to not use it too much. It's going to be sometimes really complicated to move things inside this, okay? Now we also have this feature, guys, okay? And this is very important. If you click on here, you have double end display. That means that it's going to be shown in PC and mobile. And you have PC only and mobile only. What you can use this for this? Imagine that you place a button here, and for this I'm going to show you an example, okay? Where is my reaction menu? It's right here. As you see, I have the numbers here. That means that you can use this button, okay? You can use this button with something that we forgot that is being called shortcut, okay? So you can place an H here, and from a computer, every time that you use the H button, you can make this work. And you can place this as an example. You can place the H here, okay? And if you place PC only people from PC is going to show that information. So you can make shortcuts that are going to be very easy for PC people, okay? That's a quick example, but that's how it works, okay? Let's continue with it. We were working with this. Now, another important thing is this one, okay? So if you place this, you can do things like that. As you see, there is like a normal frame, the normal frame face, and you can just cut the parts from certain positions. As an example, you can do this, or you can do that, but you will be able to just have the normal way. You will be able to do triangles and things like that, okay? That's going to be very important. All right, as you see, it's a way to get things faster. If you want this to become a normal number, just put a 0 on it as an example, and it's going to be back to normal, okay? And now this is going to be very important, guys, okay? Something that usually happens, it's that if you're playing on computer, okay? As an example, if you design this in a computer, probably you are going to put this on this position. But when you move to cell phone, players are going to see it or just right here in the area, okay? What happens for this? Because this is going to be stuck in different positions. As an example, if you are making a button and you place it here, probably when the players access to a computer or to a cell phone, they are going to see it in this position, okay? So how do you change this, guys? What you have to do, or a powerful tool that you can use, is set up the association, okay? So if you place it right here, nothing is going to happen. But if you place it right here, if you press this one, wherever a player opens that, it doesn't matter the device, it's going to be at the same distance from the top. If you place it on here, these two, it's going to be fixed at the same distance from here to here. That means that always is going to have this distance from the top and this distance from the side, okay? So, as an example, if you want to do a menu for your buttons that is going to be over the inventory, what you can do is just place it here. You set up the size, okay? You set up the size here, and what you can do is just go here once more, and you are going to set up the association with down and these sides, okay? So that means that it's going to be always over the normal inventory, and it's going to be at the same distance from here, okay? And that's it. This is going to be the basics for most of the different shapes. And with this, you can compose your UI, okay? This is, once more, a quick explanation. Now let me show you some tricks, okay? How to make this line into this, okay? So if you realize, guys, on here, you won't be able to actually find a line, okay? So check this, you don't have a line here. So if you want to make a line, okay, there is a trick that you can use. As an example, just copy and paste this one. We are going to change the name for this one to line, okay? This is going to be a line, and we are just going to keep the same pattern, okay? What we are going to do is just scroll down here, and on here you are going to put, as an example, 400, and the way that you can do a line is just by changing this by a number, and voila, you have a line, okay? So remember that you can do this whenever you want, okay? And also you can change the color, so we are going to change the color just for make it easier to see, okay? That's how you can create a line. As you see, some shapes are not going to have all the dots depending of the size, okay? So be careful with that. Remember also with this menu, you can get the size, okay? But as an example here, you can see that the line is really tricky to take. And you are going to see that, okay guys? You see that my line disappears? That is because the line is in the top of here, okay? So how do you do for showing the line? The line needs to be down below. How you do that? You click on here and you have this option that says move. You press where and you have those options, okay? So if your guide options are in Chinese, probably is going to be confused, but I'm going to explain which is going to do any of those, okay? Imagine that this is the object that we want to move. If we press this option, what it's going to do is that it's going to place this object under the object, so it's inverted, okay? The one in the top puts the object below, and this one puts the object on the top, okay? And this one, the last one, put the object inside the folder, okay? So if I want to move this line down below to be able to be shown, I need to press on this one. And as you see, the line goes down. Remember that the things that are going to be in the top are the things that are in the last part. And then you can see the line right now on here, okay? Now, if I place, once more, reorder, okay? And I place here, and I click here down, it's going to move the line up. And if I do place click, and click on this one, is going to be inside the object and also is going to be down below. That means that when you have a folder, wherever you move is also going to move the line, okay? And you can move the line individually, okay? Very important, guys. There are some tricks that will actually affect this, okay? So as an example, if I do this, if I change this, okay, let's put a 50 on it. The line also it's going to be translucent, as you see here. Also the line is going to be have the transparency, okay? And if I move the line outside that, once more, you can see that the line is not translucent anymore. Let's try to take the line, yeah. As you see, it's not translucent, okay? So, another thing that may affect this is if you rotate, okay? So check this, if I rotate, it's going to rotate all the elements inside, okay? That means that probably it's going to give you some errors when you try to move some things, so be careful with it, okay? Now guys, now that I have at least two elements, let me place another element, okay? And we already checked the picture and how to do a line, now we are going to check how to do a button. For the button, you are not going to notice the difference, but you can use whatever here, okay? So as an example, you have an option here just for quick buttons, and you can compose the buttons, but as an example, I'm going to use this check mark right here. And what will be the difference? The difference with a normal shape is that you can see that I have an attribute here, but also I can add a trigger to it, okay? That means that when the player clicks on it, it can have some tools, and also you have an extra thing, okay? The thing here, it's that you have this feature that is shortcut, okay? So if I press an H in here, that means that every time the players use that key on the computer, the player will be able to activate that button. And that will be the difference, everything else is just the same, okay? With the button, you can create interactions, okay? And we are going to use that a lot. Another important thing that we have here is the words, okay? With the work, you have also another things. As an example, on here you have the name, just put a description or whatever. On here you have the text that you are going to place here. So, hi mini-words, minicamp, students, okay? And as you see here, it's going to change this. You can change the size and then the text is going to adapt to that, okay? Also, you have the same tools as the previous one. You have the size, the coordinates and everything, but you are going to have this. So with this, you can change the color of the text and the size of the text. As an example, you can do a title or wherever. But something that we don't have is the availability to change the actual font, so that is a mess, but it works anyway. Very important, guys, if this is upset for you, because probably you are going to have something like this and you cannot select the button, a quick way to resolve it is just by clicking here, Attribute, and to reduce the box, just click on here. As you see, we can reduce that very quickly, so it's not going to be that upset. You can move things like this, okay? And it's going to be more comfortable. Now I can click on here. And finally, what we got is this thing, okay, guys? Check this, because this is going to be very important. It's an input box. It looks exactly like a text. It has the same information, but you can do some cool things here, okay? So it just has the same features as the text, but when you are in game, you will be able to click on this and change the text inside, and you can read that information. That means that you can do the name changer that you see before in the Pokemon game this morning, okay? So, welcome. How are you, Nayam? And I'm gaming. Welcome to the class, okay? And now, so very quickly, guys, what you can do with this is change the text, okay? But I'm going to show you the last feature before go deeper and show you the the triggers. And it's this one. Remember that we got this page set up, so you can have multiple pages, and each page can have like different positions. So as an example, on this one, you can move the things like this, okay? On this one, you can move the things like this, and you can hide this. As an example, let's go to levels once more, and we are going to hide this. And once more, in the page, in the last one, we are going to change the color for this text, okay? Check this. We are going to change the color to a green, and we are going to change the size, okay? So now, if you move here, you can see that this is going to be different, this is going to be different, and this is going to be different, okay? And if I change the elements in any part, it's not going to change for the other pages. So as an example, if I put a green on here, no, the elements are not going to change. So be very careful with this, because you have a powerful tool. You can do a different menu, even you can change the icon. Let me show you. On here, on this page, I'm going to change the way that button works, okay? All right, and sorry, I pressed this, but I don't want to do this. And if I change the page, in the others, it's the same element, but it's going to have a different icon, okay? So you can choose and manage your UI and your elements however you want it for the different pages. But if you add new elements, as an example, I'm going to add an image that is going to be the Calabaza here, the pumpkin. You can see that it's also going to be in the different pages, and you will have to manually move it, okay? So be sure that before creating different pages, you are going to be sure that that you already have this working and that you have the final result, okay? And remember, guys, you can move this once more, reorder levels. As an example, I can put it inside. I can put it also inside the groups, up and down, and it's going to change the look it makes, okay? So if you see, as this has a transparency, it's translucent, this also is going to be. Okay, that will be it. Another final part is that in your main library, you are going to have also all your UIs. As an example, you can see my UIs here, my user's interfaces, and how you are going to be sure that your interface is going to be synced with the library. Okay, so for doing that, just hit on Manage. You are going to click on here, and you are going to click on Sync, okay? You press on Sync, and when you are going to do a library, you can see now it's changed, okay? And it's going to have the right information, okay? With that, you will sure, and you can move, of course, this one. So if you create an UI, you can move it, and it's going to copy everything. It's going to copy the scripts and everything else, okay? So If you are using UIs, probably it's not going to be shown by default, okay? Because we need a trigger, okay? Let me show you. If I do this, you actually are not going to see the UI that we just created. For being able to do that, you need to create actually a script alias, okay? Most of the times it's going to create it by itself, but you can create it manually, okay? So the trigger name is going to be named as shown, okay? And you can use it wherever you want. The action is when the players enters the game, and when you add actions, you have a new way. This is only appearing with all the options here. In the normal script or in the normal trigger section, you also are going to have some features, but not all of them, okay? So you have hide components and a lot of options here, so you can do animations with this, but the one that we are going to use is open interface, okay? And you can choose here, you can leave it like this, but also you have the option to show all your different UIs, okay? So we are going to choose one that is going to be ours, and check this. Oh, okay, I forgot something and I forgot to activate this. Just give me a second here. Okay, and we are going to activate it. And now check. Now we have our UI here. Of course, our UI is not going to do anything because we are not using it, but you can see the translucent, you can see that you can click on the button, not in any other part. And remember, this text you can place wherever you want here, okay? You can save that text and it's going to be on there, okay? So that's how you first to open it, okay? Now we are going to continue because that part is a very basic part and we are not going to use actually that, okay? And it's that we are going to create our activity menu, guys, okay? So how it works, the activity menu. Let me switch to here and let me delete this one because we are not going to use this one. Actually, it was just an example. I'm going to delete it from here also. Yes. And we are going to continue with our activity menu, okay? So very quickly, the activity menu that we are going to make is this one, okay? Alright, so when you move, you are the host. Actually, this menu is only going to be able to be seen by the host. You have that menu in which actually you can choose what you are going to play next. Check that the design is very simple, and there is a trick. If you see, there is no button here, and whenever you play, you can actually activate this. And the trick I use for that is I create everything with basic images and then I create a complete translucent or not visible button over it that is going to cover all the area and you can use to click it very quickly, okay? With that, you can do a lot of things. Of course, you can see the lines here, also the trick that I use for the lines. But with this activity menu, once you click it, you are going to see different effects. First, it's going to give you some time to relax. It's just to advert or to teach the players that you are going to change the activity. After some seconds, you are going to be teleported to the area. It's going to create instructions in the middle and it's going to give you some instructions here, okay? And as you can hear, also you can hear some sounds. And then it's going to create whatever you want it. It's going to give you some time to start the activity and it's going to give the times or the items for the players. Also, you will be able to use the menu for React. Of course, as we don't have any player, we cannot react because this is going to work only with players. But that's what we are going to create, okay? And for this, we need to take care about some things right here. And remember that in the last class, we create this. Remember that we create some groups and we also create like an activity list with a name, a number, a text, and the items that we are going to use for that activity. So all the tables, all the different groups that we created yesterday, we are going to use it today, guys. You are going to see why you use and create this. This is being called a database, okay? And it's the information ready, put it on there to make the setup more easy, okay? To make it easier. So how do you do that? You can do it by triggers, of course. Okay, so first thing, we are going to add a new interface, okay? You are going to hit new, and the name that you are going to create for this one is going to be activity chooser, okay? You are going to create that one, okay? Alright, so the settings, the name is activity chooser. Once more, what I'm going to ask you to do is to show the mouse when it's triggered. This needs to be on. Put 11 on it, so it's always going to be in the top, and that's it. You don't need to move much more here in setups. Just the name, just this, and just this. Everything else needs to be completely closed. And we are going to start, okay? So, actually, I'm a little bit worried about this is going to be damaged. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to synchronize, okay? And I'm going to use other map to move this. So I'm going to destruct. I'm going to break this. So what we are going to do is I'm going to teach you how I create my buttons, okay? So as you see, there is an empty part here, and I'm going to delete everything else so you will be able to see actually just one button. It's not going to be confused for all of you guys, okay? We are going to just show you how I create everything here, okay? The parts I'm going to use, and yeah, let's use this one, okay? So, this one has been not deleted. Let's delete it, and let's delete it, okay? And this one, yeah. If you see, on my screen, I have a panel here with all information. Let's move this to the sides, and let's increase a little bit the size so you are going to see better how it works, okay? So, if you see on here, you're going to see this square, okay guys? This square is going to be actually a button, okay? And this is going to be my design. As you see, everything inside here are just pictures. I don't use button. And you can design whatever or however you want your buttons, okay? The important thing is that has a unit. If you didn't see this, it's because I use colors. Once more, I teach you the trick. I'm using actually this basic image, I'm using this icon, and I'm using this one, okay? But I changed the color. As you see, on here I have a custom color. I can change that, okay? As you see, I have different colors for it, okay? But it's the same icon. Okay, another important thing is that once you have all the information here, I create a button, okay? Remember, the image is just an image as to be able to compose, but to make it easier, I put a button over it and I make it completely translucent, okay? So how you can do that, guys? This trick is very important. As you see, I put 1 of transparency. If I place 100, you are going to see that it's just a normal image here that is in the top, and this is the one that has interaction, okay? With this, it doesn't matter if the player clicks here, 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 and avoid to use a lot of buttons. I only place once a dot. Important things to make it work, this button needs to be under the panel, okay? Because if you do it the other way, if you put it like this, okay, the actual player won't be able to click on it, okay? Check this. As you see, I cannot click on it. So the most important thing is that this button needs to be below, okay? It needs to be below the actual panel that you are going to place, or it needs to be inside at the end. Wherever you put it, it's going to work. Remember to rename it, okay? Alright, that's how I construct my UI. Remember that yesterday I gave you some tips about how to create